ridiculous. Hold on. You recording on your side?
No, I will. Yes.
Continue. Approve. Beautiful. And voila. Okay. Okay, we're good to go.
Yay. We're
Sweet.
here.
All right,
Live.
so thank you. It took a second. We always every time. So welcome to Relationship Real Talk with Doc Harmony and myself, Audio Parody. Doc Harmony's on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. You get bi-coastal information. Both of us have been doing this work for many, many years in the realm of relationship. We're here to drip on you guys the work that we study, discover, right? We informing you of the stuff that's not really out there in the realm of relationship. And we have a juicy one this week. We do this every 2 weeks. We come in live on YouTube. And but why don't you introduce yourself first, darling?
So I'm Dr. Harmony, and like Andre said, we are just here talking about real talk and relationships and what that looks like. And what we really try to do, I think you will agree, is we just try to really give it to you without all these taglines and with all this fluffiness and just what really works. You know, everybody's looking for some secret formula or some secret look or some secret way of being, and it's just kind of silly, isn't it? They're denying natural ways of being. They're denying our DNAs and our genetic. I mean, there's just
Biology,
right, biology,
everything. Yeah,
right? You know,
nature,
ancestry, right? Nature, right?
all of that, all of that.
So all of it. So we're just here to be kind of like straight and up front. I have a 24, it'll be 25 this year, long relationship. And Andre,
Yep.
what, 33 or
Yep, 33. Can you believe that? It's
yes.
amazing because I'm only at 29. But
Looking good. Now that secret will never be released, everybody. I'm just saying.
anyway, so all that to say, nothing I talk about myself as a relationship coach for the past 18 years, but really studying men and women my entire life, starting with my own relationship to myself, not knowing why I was here and all of that. So started at 23 doing the work, right? But nothing I talk about, everything you're going to hear me and Doc Harmony talk about, not not my opinion. You could have your opinion. I have my opinion about stuff, but I don't teach my opinion. I teach nature, science, biology, right? Like anthropology and psychology, right?
Well, an
Evolutionary process,
observation. We just, gosh,
right?
how many clients have we? It's just
Yes,
observation of
and
what works and what
observation in
doesn't
it
work.
all. All right, and the word, the thing that we've seen, the things we understand through all the work and the research. So that said, what is the topic today? Because we're talking before we got on, and
Yes.
we got really juiced up and kind of woof. And but I'm gonna give you the lead into taking us there like gently because it was pretty heavy
Yeah.
and a conversation that could be difficult to have.
It is a difficult conversation, and I will try to deliver it as femininely as possible, but it is a chunky, chunky, big, hot topic. And it's, it's sex. It's just talking about sex. And and just I think, Andre, I know you'll agree with this. This conversation is not about women going back to being barefoot and pregnant, although there's
No,
nothing wrong with that
no.
whatsoever.
Thank
But
you.
I mean the sentiment that goes with that. Both Andre and I are very, very pleased and happy that, women are equal. We have equal rights under
Yeah.
the law, and that, I mean, obviously, let's take all these silly conversations out of this because this next conversation is just critically important. And it is the conversation that came out of the feminist movement where they taught us that it's okay to act like a man, be like a man, and have sex like a man. And we are really here today to unpack this. One, because it really, at the end of the day, because we care. We care about the consequences that this type of behavior is going to have, not just upon you, but upon your future and the legacy. If you have children under the guise of this type of behavior that's acceptable, not only have you become a victim and may or may not know it, but your children and those around you will become a victim and the consequences of it. So this is a really heavy, difficult, touchy conversation. It's really not difficult. It's just be a woman. But what does that look like sexually? What does that look like in terms of your self-confidence? What does that look like in terms of, science? Andre's going to talk about dopamine. And so, but really, I think that if you could just be open-minded enough, you will realize that when women act like men in the bedroom and women are chasers and hunters and they're going and they think that they can have high body counts and they think that none of this really has an effect on them, all you're doing, ladies, is just lying to yourself, lying to yourself. And so it is really important to listen to this conversation with an open mind. And
Please.
I will guarantee you that every lady out here that's going, she don't know what she's talking about. They don't know what they talk about. They don't. I guarantee you, your self-esteem is low. I guarantee you, you don't feel good about what you're doing. And I guarantee you, you can't keep a man. So this conversation is for you. This conversation is for you and your family so that you can have the legacy and fulfill all your desires that you really want, which is to be loved, to be loving, and to be lovable as a feminine woman. And you can't do that acting like a man. And I'm gonna let you take up after that, Andre, because
Ooh,
I think you had a lot of points to share with us, or to share with me about this big lie that has been told to us, and the consequences that are happening mentally to us, physically to us, and I agreed with everything he
morally.
had to say. So go ahead. It's just,
So,
whew.
so thank you. Great setup. Like I said, that was a stirring conversation, and there's things for you as a woman you could tell other women that I can't, or they
Mm,
won't take it from me. Another man who's trying to tell us what to do. That's not what I'm
no,
doing. That's not what we're here
no,
for.
no.
We're trying to shed some light on why you may be struggling in having long, healthy relationships and
Right,
bonding with a man,
right,
living the modern lifestyle
right.
of go girl, boss babe, hookup culture, have
Mm.
sex like a man, play like a man, make money like a man, play hard. All right. So first
Oh.
of all, I want to say before I start, ladies, right? We're both on your side. We're not
Mhm,
judging. We're not pointing the finger. We're not criticizing, right? But we want to bring awareness of the things that you are blind to because the culture
mhm,
said it's okay, go girl, have fun, right? Men do it, so right, we're the same, we're not. And I
right.
want to say, precursor this whole thing is, I am not a moralist. I don't care what you do sexually. You want to throw your legs in the air, screw the entire team, I don't care. That's
Right,
you, right?
right,
But if you find yourself on the other side of that, wondering what's wrong with you, feeling low
right.
self-esteem, feeling that you've been taken advantage of, because it's typically in the end what it feels like. You think you're
Mhm,
having fun, and you're on the other side of it, the walk of shame, that kids, right? That's kind of, it's nature signaling you that you're stepping out of bound in places that are not good for your spirit, your
right.
essence as a woman, your femininity, your womanhood.
Mhm.
So that said,
And let
let's
me just
roll.
interject one sentence, keeping that mind open. This is not a moral conversation. Freedom has never meant freedom from consequences. This
Mm,
is what we're talking about is consequences. Every decision that we as women make, especially sexually in the bedroom, shapes our body, our mind, and our hearts,
yes,
which then shapes our future. This
yes.
is a conversation in that context. Go ahead. I just wanted to really
All
emphasize.
right, so I'm going to start with this, and then you could help me with sort of gently stepping across, right? But I'm going to say this, ladies, understand this is statistically proven as well, right? Psychologically, every man that you hook up with and with whom you're not in love with, right? So the hookup idea of just having fun and having fun like a dude and having sex like a dude. Every time a guy gets you, takes you, a piece of your soul goes with him.
Amen.
Now I'm gonna say it again, right? Like this is why this whole freaking thing is not casual.
Hmm.
Every time somebody takes you, right, and you allow it without the conditions of being together and loving each other and sharing
Mhm,
something together. If you just do it for the dopamine, for the party part of it,
mhm,
right? As a woman, a piece of your soul goes with this man. He comes into your
mhm,
house and he leaves in the morning, and a piece of you is going with him. And then
mhm,
the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. And then in the name of fun, it's actually chewing you and destroying you from the inside.
mhm,
Okay, where do
mhm,
we go from here? That's just one of
mhm,
the pieces.
mhm.
Where do you want me to go
Well,
from here?
but really what it is if a woman is possible to be honest with themselves, I think that they will, if they can have some hindsight, honest, look back on their life and go, gosh, when I started having the hookup culture in my life, my confidence went down,
Mm,
my self-esteem went down.
mhm.
And more importantly, I bet you your standards of the type of men you were picking went down. And so once again, let's just look at it from the consequences. And so I just would really love for you to talk about that dopamine. Why, logically, I think that most women could go, okay, this makes sense. But what is really happening physically that would override this logicalness?
Or I thought instinctual knowing, right? Women know instinctually they're not to put out for no reason. Do
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Women, normal women, I'm going to say normal as in unbroken, unmolested, right? Unabused, right? Because there's many ways that we get broken as children, and sexual molestation is a huge one, right? But
Mm-hmm.
women were not broken in that way, I want to say, only enjoy sex with men they're in love with.
Mm-hmm.
They do not enjoy sex for the sake of sex,
Mm-hmm.
right? Broken women, broken men, but men's
Mm-hmm.
sexuality is very different, by the way, right? It doesn't compromise us to have sex with a lot of people. It compromises
Mm-hmm.
you in the end, having sex with a lot of men. Again, it's nature at its best, right? He's built to spread his seed, right? You built to save yours, right?
Mhm, mhm,
You know what I mean? So the whole concept of like, so there's a double standard for sure. I get it, right? But acting like a man would actually ruin the entire system as far as what actually naturally works for bonding, for long-term relationship, for
mhm,
coming together.
mhm.
So
So what about that
naturally,
dopamine and
yeah.
like,
So
go ahead.
no, I'm saying so natural feminine women who have not been altered or damaged,
Mm,
right, only enjoy sex with the men they
okay.
love. So
Yes.
these women do not hook up. These women do not just have sex for fun.
Okay.
Right? Now, in our culture, because we teach, again, we convince women that that's no big deal and it's new normal, right? What happened is sexuality on a natural woman gives her oxytocin, the bonding hormone.
Mm-hmm.
But after more than six body counts, don't blame me. I'm just reporting the news. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just, giving the statistics. Over six body counts, a natural woman's um, oxytocin receptors get destabilized and numbed out.
Mm-hmm.
So the ability to bond to one man, right, which is nature, bond to the man you're having babies with for the rest of your life. That ability that's just chemically, right, dissipates. So women with 6+ body counts, right, if they get married, have an 80% chance of it failing because they
Oh.
can't physically bond to the man that they're having sex with. Where a woman with one or two body counts will get attached to that man for life.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's problem number one. Your
Mm-hmm.
hormone systems, right, is now your oxytocin receptors get numbed out, and it gets replaced because sex also gives you dopamine. This is
Mm-hmm.
what men have to have sex. Men and sex is dopamine. It's sport. It's sport. It's sport. It's sport. It's tantalizing,
Mm-hmm.
exciting. Makes me feel like a stud. Gives me energy. Ah, right. It's a fire, right? But so when women become desensitized to oxytocin, they start craving the dopamine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And now start screwing like men. And in the end, most of these ladies thinking it's no big deal will find themselves wanting to bond with a man, wanting to build with a man, but men don't respect women who have
Mm-hmm.
high body counts. Men don't respect women who have sex just for fun. Men
Mm-hmm.
don't, right? And men will have sex with that girl, but they never
Mm-hmm.
respect her. And men say shit like this, excuse my French. They say, if she doesn't respect herself, how can I respect her?
Mm-hmm.
Because having sex for fun right, is against nature.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a woman has sex with the man she loves, not for
Mm-hmm.
dopamine. Now, again, this is all something that men understand sort of somewhat naturally, right? Either you're a girl that I could build with, as in a virtuous girl who's not
Mm-hmm.
having sex just for fun, so I could trust
Mm-hmm.
her that she's not going to screw the neighbor when I'm out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, that's how men think,
Right.
as opposed to the girl to build with,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you become the girl to play with, as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
the girl to build with. So you can have sex all you want, ladies, but if you're finding men don't take you seriously, ta-da! Because by the way,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to even divulge your body counts. We can smell it. We know it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
freaking know it. Again, nature does that, right? Back
Mm-hmm.
in the days, in the caveman days, right? Women who were promiscuous, nobody would actually take them seriously
Mm-hmm.
because back then there was no DNA test. And, man, the biggest insult on any man's life is to spend his time, his energy, his resources, his
Mm-hmm.
life raising a child that's not his. That's the biggest insult.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So back then, again, part of the system is we know you're one of
Mm-hmm.
those.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in our culture, men love to have sex, so they'll have sex with you. They will. Again, think about the repercussion. You said that earlier. They never can freaking take you seriously because you
Right.
like to throw your legs in the air for fun.
But and I
They'll,
would like to interject
sorry.
that and we've talked about this part of it in many other sessions here,
Yep.
that a man is single focused. A man is a yes and a yes, a no is a no. A woman's like, well, kind of, sort of, yes, maybe yes, all right, maybe, or blah, blah. She's all over the place.
Yep.
So when it's like so many times a woman wants to blame a man for ending up in bed with him, but at the end of the day, she was like, well, kind of, no, maybe. Well, you went all the way from the club to his house. He's thinking this is just a straight up, yeah. You see what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
so in the Queen's Garden, we really teach how important it is to have the proper words and like no. I mean, it's just that
Yeah.
simple.
Yep.
But we're so attached to wanting to be liked. Oh, and wanting to be liked and wanting to have this feeling, which now you're talking about and letting us know that this is just it sometimes it's oxytocin in the beginning, but the more it adds up, it converts to that dopamine addiction.
Yep.
And then it just becomes more and more difficult to fulfill that desirous feeling. And then the consequences is that we're left not just individually, but as a society confused as to what we're doing and why we even ended up here. I mean,
Right.
it's just, and the man's just kind of going, well, she got in the car. She came with me to the house. I don't, what else would she expect? We're
If
going to
she
have
does, yeah.
tea at 2 a.m.
Right.
in the morning.
If she doesn't respect herself, how can I respect her? That's just meant one may say,
Right.
period. So you want to
Right.
have fun? Okay, but don't think he's going to take you seriously ever.
Right.
Men will have
Right.
sex with you all day long and never take you
Right.
seriously, right? Because you give him the dopamine, his drug of choice, by the
Mhm.
way. His drug of
Right.
choice is dopamine. When it becomes
Right.
yours, as opposed to oxytocin,
Ooh.
you're
Right.
one of the guys. So
Right.
I'll treat you like other guys. I won't take you seriously, one of the guys, right?
Right.
I will have sex like guys have
Right.
sex, right?
Right.
And then you get your feelings hurt because you're like, how come,
Mhm.
I really want to fall in love. I want to feel safe, but nobody wants to, wife me up or even be my, make me his girlfriend. It's like, well,
Right.
why would he?
Right.
Like, like,
Right.
do you know what
Well,
I
in
mean?
the
Again, it's not
50s, didn't they have
sexy.
the saying 50s and 60s, why buy the cow when you could have the milk or something?
I
And
know.
everybody's offended. Here's what's so interesting, Andre. Everybody gets so offended by these types of conversations. But since we've been created by the creator above,
Yep.
it's all the same. We still ovulate around the average age of 12. Men start puberty about a year later. You would think at some point we would have evolved.
Nope.
No, we have
Nope.
not, but I really want to emphasize that because that's super, super, super. Now we have some physical issues now, some because of hormones and our water and
Yes.
air and all that.
Yes.
But if we still had clean water, we would just still be at the same age that we all start periods. We would all be at the same age that you
Yep.
start. And so nothing, it's been like this since the beginning of time, people. So women want to argue. Well, no, 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 well, I should be able to. I should be able to. I should. No,
Okay.
no,
I mean,
well,
I'd say do you, but it's not going
right.
to serve you.
But be aware of the consequences that are going to occur. And I think that, you mentioned this really important thing, the heart. So we're just running around, oh, my heart, I'm so broken, my feelings are hurt. When in reality, you set yourself up for failure.
Yep.
The
Yep.
female set herself up for failure. And so I would really like you to emphasize or talk about, like, so for women in my class, and then let me share this, and then,
Yep.
they're like, oh, it's so difficult, it's so hard not to have sex. No, it's hard to have your heart broken. It's hard to be rejected. It's hard not to be called back the next day. It's hard getting STDs. It's hard, God forbid, getting knocked up. It's hard being discarded. And so, as like I was talking earlier, please look at your self-confidence. How low is it going with as your body count increases?
Yep.
And so, but how do women, what really is, what would be motivating for women if they knew to not behave, to believe this feminist lie and not behave in such a way that is actually injurious to them and everything that they want?
But I always point back to nature. If you
Mm-hmm.
look in anywhere in nature, right, the males are always trying to climb on the females, and the females sit and go, nope, nope,
Right.
nope, right. And there's the heat cycles, right? So
Mhm.
females go into heat that signals it's time. Then the men will come around and battle each other. The alpha will win, and she's like,
Mhm.
yeah, that one's a good one for genetic quality, right? Like gene quality, right? The alpha one is going to be a stronger, better offspring, right? Like that's what female do. They qualify men to
Mhm.
copulate with and continue the species. So when women start having sex without consideration of any of that. Do you know what I mean? So men don't even have to prove themselves
Oh my God,
as.
we're not even allowing them to qualify
See that?
themselves.
You see that?
And because we're just like, I'm gonna be like that. I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna be like a man. And the guy's like, woohoo, lucky me, right?
Right?
He didn't even have to
S-
qualify himself. This is
Do you see
horrible.
what's happening again?
Horrible.
If you look at nature, by the way, right? The lioness who would, which is impossible because nature doesn't do that, who would allow all the lions to climb on her, who's
Right.
going to claim the kids? Who's going to protect her?
Right.
Who's going
Right.
to protect her with her offspring? Because
Right.
women need, protection when they're pregnant and after
Of
the fact, right? There's
course.
a lot of but nature has it that this is the guy knows this is my kids, and the other ones know because they had the battle and he qualified himself, right?
Hmm.
So she picked him. That's the bond. That's nature,
Hmm.
and he's going to provide and protect her when she's vulnerable and all that stuff, and he's going to take care of his boy, his or his
Hmm.
girl, right? Whoever is born. That's fucking nature. Excuse my French, but the idea of you know anybody qualifies and think that anyone's going to take you seriously and don't think that it's going to destroy you from the inside because somehow nature tells you this is not right.
Right.
Something, the walk of shame is not because you're proud of what you did
Right.
in the morning, right? And so pay attention. And again, the price to pay will sneak up on you. And I promise you, you don't want to be that girl in the end.
Mhm.
And if you are
Right.
that girl, there's ways to fix it, honestly, but you have to understand what the hell you're doing and why it's keeping you in that spin out.
Mhm.
So I'm just
Mhm.
saying. So again,
I
if
know.
I'm here to help you and give like let's see, let's talk about what really happens. Let's talk about
Mhm.
why it doesn't work. And again, if we're gonna point back into it's hard not to have sex, you're addicted to dopamine like a dude. So
Right.
right. And I had a client just got like a month ago. Right. She's like she has sex like man. She's a beautiful girl, gets a lot of attention, right? And is looking for a husband. But again, it's all over her body. Anyway,
Mhm.
but get this is crazy because she, even though she's dopamine addicted, right, likes to have fun with men, but looking for a husband, she
Mhm.
decided to, because her body needs, you know, she needs to have sex, right? So she decided to have sex with a dude that she doesn't like because that's safer, right? Because she doesn't.
Mhm.
He's not the guy that I want. He's not
Mhm.
qualifying for whatever reason. She calls me crying a week later. You know,
Mhm.
I like him. I don't understand. I like him. He's no good for me. I like him. Like I'm totally like obsessed with him right now. Like I don't know. I know. Well, yeah, you create that bond, the chemical
Right.
bond. Do you know what I mean? Somehow he has high chemistry that actually resonated with the body in a way that most guys don't. And now you're caught up with a guy who doesn't want
Mhm.
anything that you want, but now you're suffering because you
Mhm.
want him to take you seriously. You want him to provide and protect. You want everything that you're looking for in a husband, but it happened chemically, and he thinks you're a joke. And
Right.
now you're suffering again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, like, again, nature will do it. Your body will do it. I'm not a moralist. We
Mm-hmm.
talked about this, right? This is just what happens.
But here is what, so I just remembered this also.
It hurts my brain,
I
honey.
know. I'm like sitting
It
here going,
hurts
"Oh
my
my God, I
brain.
have a headache on this one." Um, we women lie. Like every time in my Queen's Garden class, they're like, "Well, I want to have sex," and and I'm like, "Then go to a sex club. Single women get in free,
Yeah.
get laid, and then go date." You know,
Mm.
I'm not suggesting that, but do you see what I'm saying? I'm trying to knock them out of this illogical. They're feigning, they're pretending. They're like, "Oh, that they're looking for a husband, that they can have sex like men. If they could have sex like men, there'd be more single ladies at the sex clubs lined up." Do you see what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Absolutely.
It's weird sounding, but it's not what's showing up because women are lying. They are looking for husbands. They are looking to have a family. They are looking to have a provider and a protector, but
Yep.
they're pretending to be like a man. And then the man's like, "Well, I don't want a man. So why would I hook it? Why would I stay with you?" And
Right.
it's just like,
And
and- but
if you
earlier you brought up a good point. Now men expect women to
to
be
put out,
putting out, and it's like, and then we're offended. Well,
yeah.
you've been putting out for a decade. Why are you not going to put out now? I don't understand.
And back to women who don't respect themselves that way,
Right.
men can respect you. And then you want, and eventually after, it's typically after your 20s. Now you
Mm-hmm.
want the safety, you want the relationship, you want
Mm-hmm.
somebody to provide, protect, you want the husband, you want, oh, maybe kids. Oh shit, right? Never thought of it. Like, so after your 20 years of having fun, right? Nature kicks back in and
Right.
you want all the traditional stuff.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But you're
Mm-hmm.
literally killed the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're suffering because nobody takes you seriously. And you're suffering because, you're aged out of the window where men actually are
Mm-hmm.
looking for virtuous, youthful,
Mm-hmm.
fertile, beautiful
Of
women,
course.
right? And another thing I hate to say it, ladies, I'm trying to love you and wake you up if you didn't cross the line. But when a woman is 30 plus and
Mm-hmm.
decides she wants all the goodies, she wants to feel safe, she wants somebody to help, she wants somebody to come home
Mm-hmm.
to after running around for 15 years, 10 years, you know, being that girl, because somehow that's freedom
Because
and
she
liberation.
can.
It's
Right.
freedom and liberation, right? Not so much. Again, and then by the time you get to be 30 something and you're looking for a 30 something guy to start a family with, well,
Right.
I'm going to say it. You ready? 35-year
Wow.
old man, this is when men get valuable, by the way, right? Because in our 20s, we have nothing, we know nothing, we have no money, no resources. So it takes men conquering themselves in the world in order to become valuable. So when men are successful between 30 and 35, typically, right, they go, oh my goodness, I could take on a wife, I could build a family, I could
Right.
buy a house and leave a legacy, right? So
Yeah.
men, when they get successful in their 30s, want women, wives, and have children.
Right.
However, a 35-year-old man will not marry a 35-year-old woman who is now at the edge of what we call at 35 we call it geriatric pregnancy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your youth, your beauty, and your fertility is now
Yeah.
compromised.
Fertility and vitality. Who wants to have a kid at 35 for
Compromise. So
Pete's
a
sake?
35-year-old guy, ladies, just listen to me carefully. A 35-year-old guy who has everything that you want and he wants to provide,
Mm-hmm.
protect, cherish, give support, lead, pay, right, is looking for a 25, 26,
Mm-hmm.
27-year-old
Mm-hmm.
who's
Mm-hmm.
still youthful, beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
fertile, full of vitality. That's the
And will
juice that he needs.
appreciate what he's bringing to the table.
But
I can.
also, but also that's what's happening. So a 35-year-old woman who now wants the goodies that
Mm-hmm.
it's rejected in her 20s. I have to say this again. This is man's nature, right? At 35, you don't get a 35-year-old man. You will get
Mm-hmm.
a 50-year-old man.
Mm-hmm.
Because to a
Mm-hmm.
50-year-old man, you're still fertile, you're still beautiful, you're
Mm-hmm.
still youthful, but
Mm-hmm.
he probably doesn't want kids with you. He's got his
Mm-hmm.
own, most likely,
Mm-hmm.
right? And again, the dangers of pregnancy past 35 are insane. Look at the statistic, it'll make your hair just curly as
Mm-hmm.
mine. Super
Mm-hmm.
dangerous, all kinds of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Miscarriages, defect, all
Yep.
kinds of crazy stuff, autism,
Yep.
like through the roof. So that's not a right. So, but a 50-year-old is still beautiful or young. He'll
Mm-hmm.
provide for you, but
Mm-hmm.
typically men marry for women and children.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mhm.
you can't provide him children, why would he marry you? So he'll have
Mhm.
companionship, he'll take care of you to a degree, right? But it'll never be the bond that you're looking for.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
again, because you basically aged out of
Mhm.
the part that men or natural men are needing in order to take on a woman, provide, protect, you ever spend all this time resources to protect and provide for you, right? There's a big right.
But I
Again,
think there's
men want
something a little
legacy.
deeper there. Women really, they're just being silly for this 10 to 15 years. They're just really denying their inner self and their true desires. Once again, that double speak and, not even being able to understand what restaurant they want to go to at night. How are they going to understand what they want for life, right? And so it's very challenging. And so they just keep blocking their heart's desire, blocking their heart's desire. And like I said earlier, they're acting like a man trying to get a man. And earlier, before we got on here, you were talking about how to get to a man's heart because now we have this society, social media, the feminist movement, all of this that is just perpetrating this lie that women can be meant. First of all, they're perpetrating the lie that if you're a boy, you can be a girl, and if you're a girl, you can be a
Oh
boy. Well, let's
God,
not go there. That's ridiculous, right?
don't get
So,
me going.
so but even at this subtle level, even if we're not going through such dramatic measures in that conversation, they mentally and emotionally and fit and action wise, women are acting like men. They are being like men. And then they're wondering why they're not having happily ever after.
Yeah,
They're wondering why they're not having marriages. And we keep going round and round about it. But what is it? What would be motivating for a woman? What would make it worth her while to not be this way? What is it that a man is looking for such that it would be inspiring and enrolling for her to go, oh, hey, maybe I should embrace my femininity. Maybe I
yeah,
should be a little bit more vulnerable. Does that make sense what I'm trying to
yeah, yeah. No, so I mean, there's a few layers here, so I'm gonna try to get
Okay.
there. I'm not sure which angle I'm gonna take necessarily, but understand that sex is never start a relationship for a man.
Mm-hmm.
Women will say, I date a guy, see him 2, 3 times, right? 3, 4 days. How like you? You like me? Let's have sex. You think intimacy will start the relationship? It doesn't for men.
Mm-hmm.
Sex never starts a relationship for men. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, I would say if we talk about chemistry and hormones, vasopressin, which is the thing that bonds men to protect the women they like from the beginning, the moment he has his first encounter sexually, where his heart is not invested in the woman, vasopressin disappears, and now she literally becomes just the thing to play with. This is like nature, you guys, right? So our
Mm-hmm.
bodies literally will discard you if you have sex with him too early. He will discard you as a potential long-term mate. Just
Mm-hmm.
chemistry. Think about that. So this mistake number one. So
Mm-hmm.
if you understand biology all the way through, I could spend 5 hours explaining this to you, but if you just take my word for it, right, is sex doesn't start relationship with men. And I say if you have sex with him before his heart is in it, you stay in that to play with category as a woman as opposed to build with category. That's it, right? And by the way, it's nature. This it's very easy to understand, but men can't explain it. Men always want to have sex because that's what brings us forward. We love the dopamine, right? That's how we connect emotionally. Understand this: a woman typically needs to feel safe to open up to sex, right? Man, right? So a woman needs to feel emotionally connected to a man, to typically, right? A natural woman
Mm-hmm.
needs to be emotionally connected to a man to open up for sex. Man connects with our body with sex.
Mm-hmm. But
We need
haven't we
the
said
sex to connect, right? So they always want to have
right?
sex, except if you do it too early, he falls off and he
Okay, so
becomes
that's the distinction I want to talk
that's the
about.
distinction. Yes.
Okay, that right there. So we've talked in other conversations where a man, when you're in this long-term loving relationship, I know there's times my husband is so stressed out or just whatever he's going through, whatever that man thing is, and I'm like, baby, come here. And he just
Oof.
melts, right? And I
Oof.
could just feel it. It's just like it's like the amazing. It's an amazing gift. This
Yeah.
is how I look at it. And if I'm wrong, correct me. I'm like, wow, I get to really be there for my husband. And he's melting into me.
Yeah.
And he's used the words like, I just feel like I came home. I just got to be one. I mean, and they're like really kind of incomplete sentences. I'm like, well, okay.
Okay.
And okay,
It's
because I'm
hard to
not a man.
describe.
I'm not a man,
It's hard to describe, right?
but I get how precious is it.
You could see
So
it.
I think that we're confusing ourselves as women. We must be doing that too early. We're thinking that he's going to honor us and think we're precious and melt into us and be one with us. You see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going, right?
Yep.
But there obviously, what is it that we should I don't want to make it sound manipulative, but look for or be you said earlier qualify. You said we're not qualifying them. So what can you elaborate on this esoteric, intangible thing I'm trying to get at?
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
know you understand what I'm saying.
I know
And
what I'm saying. Again, there's a few different approach or angles here, but in the end, you know, men's instinct just say,
okay,
do I trust her or do I not trust her? To be
okay,
virtuous,
okay.
right? To take all my time, energy, resources, I will
So do we have to
commit.
kind of prove ourselves first that we're not a hoe or something
Well,
like that?
absolutely. So,
Okay.
I teach my ladies, you go on a date, by the third date, he's gonna look at you and go, hey, so I spent a few $100. So like, hey, and so, and what most women either feel guilty or they think the sex will start something. It does not. When you understand that, right? You could very respectfully say to a man, ooh, don't think that I don't want to, because I do. I feel it. It'd be a whole lot of fun, right?
Right.
It'd be a whole lot of fun. I feel you, right? However, I don't have casual sex.
Oh,
And I don't know where this is going. I don't know you well enough yet. I don't know what your plans are in the future for us, maybe. I don't know. We just met. I don't know where this is going. I don't have casual sex, but it would be really fun. So you want to be a promise of sexuality because that's how men
okay.
connect, but you don't put out. That's the difference.
Okay.
Now, if a guy just wants to have sex with you, he'll discard you. Good for you.
Yeah, and you haven't
You
lost
just
anything.
no, right? But now you know. Now, if a man is looking to build, looking for a wife, because most traditional men, that's what they want. The good guys who get their shit together, that's what they want.
Hmm.
They become successful, so now they can have a wife and kids and leave a legacy. That's what they want,
Hmm.
right? So the idea that the
Hmm.
men are non-committal is ridiculous. Again, boys are
Hmm.
not committal, men are. So,
Okay.
but so a guy, do you say, oof, oh, I'd love to. You're, oof, I feel it, but I'm not doing that. I don't know where this is going. I don't know you. I don't know what your plans are for us, the future, maybe. I don't know enough, and I don't do this for anybody. Guess what happened? The guy who wants to build goes, holy crap, right? Like you just instantly go up in status.
Right. Hmm.
Opposite of what you think, opposite of what the culture and the feminist women have told you.
They've so lied to us.
Completely lie to you. This is why you're suffering because men are yes or no. They respond to you,
Hmm.
right? So again, and the men will try. This is so predictable, by the way. Like this, I did a ton of this
Thanks.
stuff. I do a ton of this stuff. A man who likes you when you put a boundary like this will go, oh wow, okay,
Hmm.
okay, cool. Respect that completely. He's not angry. If he's angry, he's a boy and he just want to have sex.
Hmm.
But a man who wants to build like, wow, oh, boom, that woman knows who she is and knows how to set boundaries, and she's not
Hmm.
shitty about it. She's like, I'm not doing that. I don't. Just, I'd love to, but I don't
Hmm.
because I don't do
Right.
that because I'm
Right.
left. I'm in the end, I'm left with myself, and I don't
Hmm.
want to feel shame about myself. I don't do that.
Hmm.
Anyway, so the
Hmm.
men will do this in cycles. By the way, this is so predictable, right? A couple of week cycles, he leave you alone, right? You think, oh my
Hmm.
God, I really screwed it up. No, he comes back a couple of weeks later, typically, right? Takes you out, blah blah blah, whatever, and he'll try again. So do you want some of this yet? Do you want some of this? Do you know what I mean? I gave you all my best, everything. I give you my best, right? Like, don't you want some of this? Do you know what I mean? So it's been due, right? And you're like,
Right.
oh my goodness, yes, I would love
Yes,
some of
of
this, but
course
I'm
I
not
do.
doing it. I
Right.
don't have casual sex. I'm not that girl, right? I
Right.
respect myself too much, and I don't know where this is
Right.
going
Right.
yet. I don't know you. I don't know what your plans are.
Right.
I'm looking for long-term relationship. I'm looking for a husband.
Hmm.
I don't know if we're
Hmm.
that yet, right? The
Hmm.
same guy again. Oh, you just went up another notch.
Hmm.
Men will try this about 3 times because they don't really women will say no, but they don't mean it, right? So we all know this. So you just have to wear her down. But
Mhm.
after 3 times when you can't wear her down, she has boundaries that I can't imagine. Oh my God, do I respect that
Right.
woman? She respects
Right.
herself. She could do it in a feminine way, right? She's not shaming me out of it. She's like, yeah, whew,
Right.
whew, that'd be great, but whew, but no, right? I'm
Mhm.
not that girl. But you know what I
Right.
mean? That's a super valuable woman to a man who wants to build. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then he respects that, so he'll stop leaning on you sexually,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
then goes deeper.
okay.
Who is she? What does she value? Are we compatible long
Oh,
term,
then
right?
he becomes actually curious about you.
That's when he gets
Oh,
hooked. You see
wow.
it? It's so
Yes.
freaking beautifully simple and natural, right? And so there's a whole getting to know you and getting to know you as a person, personality, to like your character, to like your heart, to understand we're
Mhm.
compatible, to understand we
Right.
values line up. This is when he gets emotionally attached
Mhm.
because there's no sex. He's
Right.
respecting you, and he now
Right.
is you're a unicorn that he
Yes.
wants to discover,
Yes.
what we could build together.
Right.
And then there's the next step that I'm not going to talk about here because giving it with the farm, but it's all very, very simple, ladies. If you understand
Well,
this,
if they can't figure it out after this, then they
well, I
don't
mean, the thing
know.
is,
I'm just saying.
men cannot explain any of this. Men just
Right.
respond to you. So if you put out, they go, great. If you don't put out, they go, what? You know what I mean? And again, they either
Mhm.
leave or go, wow. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's it. Men respond to you. So again, if you give it up, give it away without
Mhm.
reasoning, without him having to prove himself, without even having to prove he's a good guy, without being qualified,
Mhm.
you're gonna suffer because they're gonna keep walking all
Right.
over you and walking away from you.
Right.
And again, a piece of your soul goes with every one of them. That is the
Absolutely.
price that you want to pay. You don't want to pay that price.
Right.
I could do
Yes.
this all day long.
Well,
Oh,
and it just, I mean, this is just so powerful because once again, we teach in our other conversations that a woman's role or woman's responsibility is to manage the relationship, not the man, right? We're not there to be his mother, we're not there to
oh
be
no.
his caretaker, we're not there to be
Mm-mm,
his checklister, his
mm-mm,
honeydewer,
mm-mm,
none of that.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
But to manage the relationship, which really is this is the this is the foundation,
Yeah,
right? This is what
yeah.
I'm really hearing. This is the foundation for managing a relationship that works for both the man and the woman. And both of them can get what they want and what they need. She's not only is she now being respected, but she is actually respecting him. She's affirming him. She's appreciating him, all that. But she's holding a standard
That's how
such
you
that,
hook them.
right,
That's how
she's
you
holding
hook
a
them.
standard that says, I'm valuable, I'm worthy, and I believe you are too, so I'm going to respect you enough to to not necessarily say no, like no, but you see what, but
Yeah,
she's
I
just
can see.
saying, hey, let's just really see where this goes so we're not just throwing our pearls before swine in front of each
And
other.
again,
I think it's priceless. I think it's
yeah,
just invaluable,
and it's
invaluable.
all psychology, biology of masculinity, by
Yes,
how men understand things,
yes,
virtue,
yes,
building, spending
yes,
time, energy on a woman for life. This whole
yes.
cocktail that man cannot describe that we decoded. So I
Well,
teach this to ladies. Come and get it. If you want to learn
of
this, it's not that complicated.
course.
Come and get it, right? So we'll put show notes below.
Yes.
I also want to announce, I don't know if it's appropriate because
Yes, it is.
my TED Talk was released 2 weeks ago. So I'm actually put the link below. My TED Talk talks about the dance of relationships, right? And you'll see me dance a tango, Argentine tango with my wife, but the
With this bike?
metaphors of dancing, yeah, the metaphor of dancing, and you'll see what connection looks like. You'll see
Oh.
like, what the juice is between the masculine and feminine when it's in congruent with nature and polarity.
Mm, yes.
Again, we're not the same. We're polarized on purpose. That's the point.
Mhm.
That's what keeps the juice going,
Mhm.
right? So women are not men. Act
Mm-mm.
like men, have sex like men does not work.
It does
You'll
not work.
suffer. You'll find yourself on the other side lonely, and you're gonna blame men for it because nobody's taking you seriously. They
Right.
just want to have sex. Well, you again,
To go
look
to
back
the
at me,
sex club, ladies. No, you're
right?
lying to yourself. You don't want to just have sex. You think
Yeah,
that you're using sex is going to get you your man, and it's not. And if
right.
that's just the reality of
It's
it.
often validation, and women thinks that often attention will get them affection.
No,
So look like a hoe, act like a hoe.
that's
The
right.
guy's gonna take care of you. That's not at all how it works. Not even close.
Right.
It's the exact
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah. Yep.
I could
Well,
just hold
wow,
on.
this was like real. I think this is
Woo,
my
girl.
favorite. Oh
And
my
there's like
goodness.
there's the next layer after that. Like, I mean,
Absolutely.
so again, we're here to help. We're not here to shame, right?
No.
We're not here to shame or judge or any of that. But most in our culture right now, all this has been dismantled in the name of freedom and liberation, and in the end, it actually enslaves you and makes you
Mhm.
miserable.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's the price that I don't want
Well, they
anybody to
just released
pay.
a study today, Dr. Mercola, that mental illness has gone up 95%. 95%, and it's all based on anxiety. And
Yep.
I will tell you what, a woman who's not getting a phone call back after having sex with the dude is in
Anxiety.
complete anxiety.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I don't know how many examples, I think we could come up with a million examples of the consequences, going back to the very beginning thesis. What are the consequences? Freedom has never meant freedom from consequences.
Hello.
And every decision that a woman makes, a man makes, shapes the body, the mind, and the heart, which means your future relationships with yourself and with your husband and with your children, hence your legacy. And I think that this conversation really, thank you, Andre, for all these gems and this insight, you know,
Thank you.
really motivating and inspire women to stop listening to that noise and go back to listening to their heart.
Oof. Amen, sister. I love it.
Amen.
I love it.
All right.
So with that, again, we do this every 2 weeks. Hopefully, you guys kind of came to understanding or go, oh, that
Oh,
explains my past. Oh, that explains why it's not working. Oh, that explains why I'm suffering. Oh, that explains why it's not working. It's not man.
yep. Yep.
I hate to say, it, right? In nature, the
Yes.
female picks and chooses and she decides. It's
Amen.
the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper has the control.
Amen. So be a gatekeeper, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks.
Yeah, starting. Beautiful. So, let's just unhook, but I want to talk to you again. So this just I want to stop everything and then
Okay.
I want to chat with you again.
Okay.
So let's come back right away.
Okay. Come back in here.
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.